Hi, everybody. How's it going? This is Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast, and welcome to the 2026 trade deadline extravaganza. It's currently July 31st, 3:38 p.m. As I'm recording this. And you'd think that the trade deadline should be today, hours away perhaps, but not this year, with the trade deadline being very late, 6 p.m. August 3rd. So we are 3 days away. Here to talk all about it, we have Jeremy, SJ Phil's fan. How are you, Jeremy?
It's the favorite time of the baseball season. It's also the scariest time when you're at contention because it's trading away assets instead of getting back assets.
Yeah. No, I mean it's scary no matter what, right? Even if you're the one that are, shipping away your major league players, you're still going to be shaping the future of your team at the trade deadline in a way that, you're not shaping the future of your team in a random game on May 21st. But
Yeah, I know.
um
Yeah. No, but
so
think about the last big time we sold was like when we traded Hamels. All those players we got back, the Nick Williams hype, the Faro hype, and honestly, the only reason that trade's saved is because we traded Faro for JT.
yeah. Yeah, well, let's get the trade trees, right? Like one move, it leads to another move, and then you look and you have like a tree of, 500 moves that only happened because some specific thing that happened in a very specific moment. But before we get to all of that, let's talk a little bit about this series we have coming up against Orioles. Just to get the probables out of the way, there's been a lot of news today about Andrew Painter coming back to the major leagues to make a start tonight, Friday night, in Baltimore against Brandon Young. Then Saturday, we have Chris Sanchez against Shane Baz. And then Sunday, afternoon game in Camden Yards, Zach Wheeler against Kyle Bradish. So, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Painter coming back for the game this night?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. If if they want to entertain him in trades, this is the best time. Okay, like they're to get the best value of him, they want to hope he does well before the trade deadline, and the best way to do that is throw him out against the major league team. The Orioles aren't a great hitting team, so that's one plus. So if he looks really good, that's a big boost to his trade value. Or
Sure.
two, he could solve the fifth starter problem if he's decent.
Sure.
So
So,
I think there's I think there's no I think it's smart to start him. I think I because if he doesn't do well, then okay, well we'll go back to fixing his mechanics, work it out. But if he does well, that opens up more doors for him being on the roster the rest of the year or him trading him. So
so you think that, I mean, number one, do you think that this is mostly to see if he can stick on the roster for the rest of the year, or do you think that he is more somebody that the Phillies are dangling as trade bait?
I think it's more dangling as trade bait, considering how fast the decision was seemed to be made. It seems like it was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you never know if it's like out of nowhere for the organization. Like maybe this is something
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
had
Maybe they
planned.
just maybe they decided like, oh yeah, we forgot to announce this.
Right. Truthfully, I'm not entirely sure what I think of Painter starting tonight. I don't
I mean, I
necessarily.
we haven't won the fifth starter spot since May. We've had Painter, we've had Ringal, we've had Keller.
Sure,
I'd rather
but
just give it to Painter.
I mean, a couple things. Number one, I'm not convinced that Painter gives you the best chance to win. I look at how he performed compared to like Alan Rodhell, who is not great, but I think he's definitely better right now for a spot start than Andrew Painter. And then Keller, whatever. That's essentially a bullpen game, and I understand the Phillies not necessarily wanting to have a bullpen game because their bullpen is a little bit questionable and taxed as is, even with the off day. Um, but I think the trade part is an important angle to look at it at. Do I expect Andrew Painter to be traded? Not really, honestly.
No,
I'd be surprised if it happened. The Phillies would be certainly selling low if they did trade Painter. But I don't think you can rule anything out completely, especially when Dave Dombrowski is the person that's running this franchise. So we'll see where the chips fall.
yeah. So So if he does well, it gets exciting, gets the news going more about the trade, like have it. So if he sucks, like okay, it's like oh, he's definitely not getting traded.
I have a concern about what if this doesn't go well. I don't think that like my opinion on Painter's season is going to change drastically, right? Like using Bayesian reasoning, if he has a good start, I'm not going to look at his
Yeah,
season all that much better. If he has a terrible start, Jeremy Guthrie-esque start against the Phillies, I don't think I'm going to look at the season as being that much worse. But what I am concerned about is his confidence, right? Like I don't know if him being mediocre has improved his confidence in AAA. But if he does get tattooed tonight, which is a distinct possibility, who's to say that he's not going to get even less confident and hurt his trade value? And, maybe this is like the continuation of what honestly could be a spiral at this point.
yeah, that is always a concern, but not my problem.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that it's been like a month and a half since he started a game for the Phillies. The last game he started was that one against the Marlins, and that was on June 17th. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can't believe but it feels like it's been longer, honestly.
Yeah. What are you expecting out of him? Like, we've talked about how this could go, but like, what do you think is the most likely result of this start?
Perfect game. We're going in, man.
Perfect
But
game?
no, no. I'm expecting 5+ innings, 3 runs, maybe 4.
Sign me up for that. I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I am
I'm
expecting
I'm not
more
concer-
like
I'm not concerned. If he gets tattooed, but his guys are swinging and missing more, I'll feel better about him like getting 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 strikeout.
sure, it's more about the process than the end result, right?
And Philadelphia is very familiar with the process.
Yeah. Um, One thing I don't love about this is that he's essentially being cast as like the stopper right now after we're coming off of the sweep. And this is a game where the Phillies have like a pretty big pitching disadvantage. Brandon Young has had a very good season in Baltimore. And I don't like that there's this much pressure on him. I truthfully would not have started him today.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like when he was when he was like before he really started spiraling, the Phillies weren't even scoring runs for him then too. So he's used to having to be the perfect pressure. So
Sure. Yeah. Anything else that you have about this upcoming series against the Orioles before we kind of get into things?
no, no, I mean I will just start that there's a few people on the Orioles that could be swapping sides during this series.
Yeah, I mean, this series doesn't, the trade deadline is the day after this series ends. Usually you see the most activity on the last day. I I, I
Yeah.
wouldn't bet
I
on
know,
something happening in this
which why it's
series.
stupid. Just like just like make the deadline today. It's like no, nothing's going to change that much by a couple days.
Right. And why is it on a
Quick
Monday?
news cycles, my guess. I don't know, but like they don't want it because they don't want just have the weekend off. They want to be able to talk throughout the whole week afterwards. I don't know,
I
but
guess.
no, like we could just start like since we're on the Orioles. There are a few guys on the Orioles that I think we can get and not give up a ton.
Sure. Let's go into it.
Yeah, so the one that will cost the most is Taylor Ward, but I don't think the thing. He's a 110 OPS plus, which isn't groundbreaking, but for a right-handed hitter, that's like groundbreaking in this day and age. He's a 383 on base percentage, which is by far his career high. So who knows how that would work when he gets to the Phillies and somebody starts swinging like crazy. His power isn't great this year, only 350 slugging, but so will he fix things? But he's a good defender, a great defender. So that would be good. Right, he gets on base this year, right-handed, could solve a lot of problems with that. On the cheaper end, we can take a flyer on Tyler O'Neill, who I feel like the Phillies have been like 2 billion not gone after the past 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, he was hurt last year. I have no idea what his deal is, why he's stuck in this year. I haven't really
So
looked
is
at
it safe to
Orioles.
say that you're going into this trade deadline, number one, wanting them to make bigger trades, and then number two, offense is the most important thing for you?
I don't want them to make. If we're gonna make big trades, I want big trades. But if we're gonna do like in between, I'd rather go for the Taylor Neals of the world. That won't cost much because Taylor
Sure.
Neal has a bunch of money. Yeah, 16 million next year, and
I
you
don't
thought
I
do
don't
well.
want that. I don't want to pay that. I have no interest in Tyler O'Neill because you're basically taking on almost a Castellanos level contract.
But you wouldn't have to give up any prospects though, and we have a ton of money coming off.
I mean, yeah, they have a lot of money coming off, but I feel like we've heard the, reporting that, the money that they've been spending the last couple years is not the amount of money that they want to be spending
Yeah,
forever, right? This is like
yeah,
a temporary bump to afford the Walkers and Castellanos of the world that are pretty much dead money. I
yeah.
don't want to add more dead money.
Yeah, but say we can they could pay half of it. We still only have to give that much to get him. Would nice, and I maybe Kevin Long. I feel seems to be doing well with new people that come in. So maybe Kevin Long can fix him and
Yeah, I
get that
mean,
right hand power we need.
if you're giving up nothing and the Orioles are paying off a decent bit of the contract, I guess, but like this is a guy that has negative WAR over the past 2 seasons, OPS
He's
plus.
positive this year. He is positive this year.
Well, I'm saying when you put together the last 2 seasons together, right? His
Yeah.
OPS plus is below average in
Oh,
both
bad.
of the
Yeah.
last two
Yeah.
seasons,
Yeah. It's 80. It's 88 the past 2 years.
and this is a guy
And so, like,
that's not every day. He's already in mostly a platoon role. Like I don't think there's any value there really.
yeah. But like you guys think about like the 2021 Braves. Those are the type of moves they did. They went after like fourth and fifth outfielders that just got hot at the right time.
Right. I mean, I keep hearing about the 21 Braves, and like, sure that like in concept that works. But I don't know. The money for O'Neal is just like it all depends on how much Baltimore is willing to pay off to get away from that contract to me. And
Yeah.
I want to
And
make it
so
clear that like I don't think this team is really worth trading all that much for. I
no,
think they're
no,
like
I agree. No, I
fundamentally
agree.
deficient.
Yeah. I don't think it's a combination of fundamentally deficient, a seller's market where even the sellers don't have star pieces to sell.
Sure.
So any move they make, unless it's like drastic, isn't going to move the needle, and so it's not worth it.
And
So that's what I'm trying to think. So yeah,
the
but
weirdest thing
so like the
is
next, yeah,
from the reporting that we've heard from beat writers like Gelb and the like, that the Phillies are mostly looking at starting pitching. They want like a fourth starter that they can slot in, give them
I know.
quality innings for the rest of the regular season, and then be able to slide into a leveraged bullpen role in the postseason. Which I understand the logic, but like I don't know
It's
if I
stupid.
fully agree with it.
Yeah, yeah. So your only option for that is like Clay Holmes and Seth Lugo.
Well, there's other guys too, right? Like
But you would want someone who's succeeded in the bullpen row, not just like, oh, this guy can just shift into it.
sure, sure. But like, it's like not unroutine for a starter to have to come out of the bullpen sometimes in the postseason. Like if you put Robbie Ray on the team, for example, like he probably
Oh
turns
God.
into like the best lefty come postseason
Yeah,
time for the
and the
Phillies.
Giants are willing to trade some of his salary.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I understand where they're coming from with that. I don't completely hate it. I just don't know if I fully buy into it at the same time.
I don't buy into it. I think it's a dumb waste of resources.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. I understand that logic as well.
But the other guy on the Orioles, if we're going for a starter, Trevor Rogers might be cheap. He's not having the greatest year, free agent.
Yeah,
Doesn't walk a ton of, doesn't give up home runs, doesn't walk a lot of guys. And
yeah. I mean,
it's like I could swear that they signed to extension. But I guess I'm just thinking of combining Shane Baz with Rogers.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, Rogers is fine. He's like other lefty, which fine. I mean, he's a pitcher, so it's not like as big of a deal as it is with
Yeah,
hitters.
but like yes, but like you could shift him to the bullpen and then get the lefty playoffs.
Right. He's had peaks, right? He had a great 2021 with the Marlins. He had exceptional
Great last year.
last year with like half a season, right? And he put up over 5 WAR across 18 starts, 1.8 ERA.
Yeah, and other than that, he's been like mostly injured.
Right. Um, I guess, like, again, like, everything comes down to what the Phillies are willing to give up. I'm coming into this. I have really no interest in trading any of the prospects. Um, I'd be okay with trading Justin Crawford at this point. I think that he is what he is. I don't see a ton of room for growth with the way his profile kind of shakes out. Um, and I don't want to trade any of the higher or high to mid range draft picks. So you're looking at guys like, I don't want to trade Gage Wood. I don't really want to trade Obermueller. I don't really want to trade like Brian Rincon. So like that doesn't leave you a ton, but that's just because
Yes, but also for a few names: Brian Rincon, Aruna Escobar, Elario Ferribus, Wayne Hoon-Pan, Marty Gare, Mavis Graves, all need to go on the 40-man roster after the end of this year.
sure.
So
No, that's a valid point. Phillies are going to have a 40-man roster crunch, but how Arun Escobar has been this year, for example, like who's picking Arun Escobar in a Rule 5 draft?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he would be. I mean, he's on the 40-man roster now, so he'd be DFA'd. But
Sure.
yeah, I definitely don't want to trade Ferribus. I think he's an underrated prospect, just crushing it at 20 years old in A ball, who's now in high A catcher. So we definitely could use him in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But anyone else on the list, I really don't care about if we trade.
Trade like Rincon if he's worth anything. Trade Alex McFarland for whatever penny he is worth. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if people listen, obviously we mentioned how much like recommend the High Hopes podcast, but if we did all of Jack Fritz's trades, I would be all for it. If you're gonna go crazy, go that crazy.
Oh, I'm completely in disagreement. You're like if you're doing that, then you can like have to make the argument that they're fucked in the next like decade regardless, because you are completely fucking them up for the next decade if you're trading away everybody that was traded away in that like example of a trade deadline. Which again, if you think that even what they have is not enough,
it was mostly just Gage. It's mostly just Gage Wood and Crawford
and Painter and
but
Rincon and all of these kind of guys too.
But if those guys are on the trade block anyway, and you get Varsho, you get Hoffman, you get Gaussman.
But does that
who else? You get Hader, and you get and you get Paredes. Like,
if you add all of these guys, you're still not really in the same tier as the Dodgers, honestly.
No, but I feel you're more competitive.
Right.
Because it changes the identity. It changes the identity of the team, and it could shake up the locker room enough for the
I mean, it does make the team better, and like I'm not disagreeing with that, but I just don't think like nothing that this team has done really all year, even the months that they've been pretty good, it hasn't convinced me that they deserve to get reinforcements at like the level that they got last year.
Yeah, I mean, so like just looking at the Blues in general, Varsho scares me just because one, he's free agent as of this year. Two, he does not get on base ever in his career. So really, he's in this year he has no power. So he's a great right now. He's literally in his defense hasn't been as amazing as it has been in past, and he's lefty.
I'm okay. Like if they want to get defense and just kind of focus in on that, they could be my guess.
If you want to focus on pitching and defense, like because we definitely should get Hoffman. Blue Jays definitely want to trade him. He's been a stud ever since not being the closer anymore. Underlying numbers are still great. Stuff is still great. I'd take him back in a heartbeat. He would immediately become the 7th inning guy.
If the Phillies, like the argument for them going all in would be if you think that they can go on enough of a streak to have a wild card series at home at the very least. And with how far back the Phillies are of the Braves, I don't expect them to make a comeback, win the division, nothing like that. I don't really expect them to catch up to the Cubs or the Brewers, whoever is going to end up losing the NL Central. So, like, there's going to be 50 games left when the trade deadline hits in 3 days. Even if you're getting, like, exceptional performance, if you're turning, a negative WAR guy like Alec Bohm into some hypothetical 3-win guy like Paredes, you're only having him for a third of the year. So that turns into, 1 or maybe 2 extra wins. You can do the same thing with the pitching, whatever. If this team wins like 4 more games, which I think is like a generous interpretation of like the value that they'd be able to get in making their team better, I don't see that as being the difference between them having a wild card series at home or, God forbid they get a bye, or them having to go on the road or maybe even miss the playoffs. Like things are so open on the downside for this team and the upside of, hey, a bye is possible. I just don't think it's there.
Yeah, but he's like Paredes is young enough where I wouldn't mind trading Painter for him.
I mean, he
He'll be,
just has like another
he'll
year and a half of control, and if we have like no
yeah,
baseball next year, then you're essentially getting him for 50 games,
yeah, that
60
is fair.
games, or whatever.
That is, yeah, but you can't play this game in fear. There's no crying in baseball.
I mean, I guess the guys that have like an extra year of control just really worry me this year more than they normally do because of how much doubt there is around next season. If you want to get somebody with multiple years of control,
Yeah, but no one's trading those guys.
I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, but one prospect who I definitely feel like we should trade is Matthew Fisher. I feel value probably never be higher than it is now. I don't think it's possible ever gonna get high enough.
You can trade him. Trade Fisher. I think, we were lucky to get him when he really only seemed like he was going to sign with the Phillies or not sign at all. Go ahead, extract that value. Okay with that concept.
Because we definitely should trade some from it, like because we don't want to end up with the situation of the baby aces where none of them made it. Like Trevor May was the best one, and he was a mostly reliever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
But
farm system is
but
not as acclaimed as it was then at the same time. Like there's
I know,
yeah.
but we also have to mention who number enemy is of this podcast now. Braden Lipoff, our 19th round pick, could not come to agreement with the Phillies. Is going to East Carolina University. He is dead to me.
I mean, on a real sense, if you're like a 19th round pick and your signing bonus is probably what, like 100K or something like that, you should probably go to college.
Well, hold on, but there's the other side of it where, it's it's 100. Okay, yeah, it's 150,000, or you do it, and if you're doing well, if not, you got 150K going to college the next year.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to be able to get like the scholarship and all of that kind of stuff, and maybe even improve your draft stock, right? Like I don't know. I think the downside risk of like playing and trying to make it work forever, unless you're coming from like some kind of wealthy family that can support you financially through you making peanuts as a minor league baseball player for 8 years, maybe never even making the major leagues, probably not making the major leagues as a 19th round pick. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. So other trade targets. Let's see. I was thinking of some people on the Diamondbacks. Yeah, it's just like, do you trade Bohm for Arenado kind of situation? Take some of that money off their hands.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think if you're going to do something, I think that could work. Arenado is not who he was 5 years ago, but he is
No,
not
he's
cooked.
still he's still better than Bohm.
Yeah, no, he's still probably around the league average third baseman, which the Phillies have not had in a very long time.
Yeah, his OPS plus is 103, which would be really good on this team.
Right, defense is still there. He has, I think, like another year under contract
he has
for
one more
next
year.
year.
Yeah, he has one more. Yeah, he has one more year, and it's like, and who knows how much of that is even left. Yeah, 9 million. It's 50 million. 9 million is being paid by St. Louis, so that's only 6 million owed, and so we could just take that. We could basically get him for free. Like, we'll pay the 6 million.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay. You've convinced me. Arenado's probably a reasonable get. He probably wouldn't cost you a ton.
yeah, you could Bowman. You could throw in I don't know. Seth Johnson.
How much will teams like the Diamondbacks be selling? The Diamondbacks are literally the same record as the Phillies.
They are? I thought they were. Oh, did they? Oh, yeah.
Things are so
Yeah, they've
bunched
been on hot.
together right now, right? Like
Yes, but yeah, yeah,
like you look at
yeah.
the
I didn't realize
American
they. Yeah, I
League.
didn't realize they've been on a hot streak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know I know yeah. Well, the AL, everyone's so garbage.
Well, the Blue Jays are going to sell. They're 5.5 back of the wild card. The Tigers, it seems like, are going to sell based on reporting today. But even like the Mariners, who are 4 games under 500, they are 3 games out of a wild card, and they are competitive in the American League West.
Yeah, because
Only two and
the
a half
Rangers are
back
only
there.
one game over. Yeah,
Right. So like
yeah,
the
I know. But
Orioles
if the
are only
If
two
the
and a half back.
Mariners are yeah, if the Mariners are selling, a Red Arena is like my number one target.
Right. Like the Orioles are 2.5 games back. The Astros are a game back of the wild card, half a game. Like I don't think the Astros are selling, you know? I don't think that the Astros are gonna sell when they're probably coming to like the end of their competitive ish window.
Yeah, but they could just. But if you could decide to blow things up, like you could like what if we got Paredes and Hater? It's just like
I mean, yeah, but the Astros are almost the same spot as the Phillies. They have a terrible farm system. They have a roster full of guys post their prime. Like, does it make sense for them to sell? Like, probably, but that's the kind of stuff that gets your management fired, and management doesn't want to get fired. They're hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Like, I don't think the Astros are going to sell.
yeah. All right, so yeah, like just you keep talking about some of your trade ideas. I'm reading an article what Painter worked on. Oh,
Sure. I mean, my if you're going to do anything, I don't know, maybe get like one of the Met relievers. I don't know if I really believe that like Brazaban is as good as he's been this year, but like I'm fine with giving it a shot. Or I'm fine with trading for Luke Weaver. I think Luke Weaver could actually make a decent bit of sense for this team. Um, he's also had a pretty good year this year in ERA in the ones, which you love to see. Even though that does make you a little bit worried about the cost, but um, that's kind of where I'm looking. The Giants are a team of like potential targets as well, as far as I'm considered. I kind of like the Robbie Ray fit because, like I said, he kind of instantly becomes your number one lefty in the bullpen in the postseason. So that's cool. Um, Maybe if you really want to get weird with it, like you could trade for Jung Hoo Lee. I don't know exactly how like the mechanics of that trade would work. He also is lefty, of course, but I like Jung Hoo Lee a lot. I think he'd be a stabilizing force in the outfield. I don't know. These are some of the thoughts that I have.
so a few things about Painter. They worked on his delivery. His delivery involved multiple slower steps rather than a fluid motion. It wasn't repeatable. So they reworked it to preload his back leg, similar to Jacob Mizorowski does, and just pound the strike zone. And so they're getting it to be like, don't try to make the perfect pitch, like let it fly. And like, so they see an improvement on that. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think they're
So
gonna do? We talked a lot about like what we want to see the
yeah.
Phillies do, but like, what are they actually gonna do?
As long as they don't trade Ramon Marquez, I really don't care.
Yeah. There's been a lot of smoke around like the Blue Jays stuff. I feel like some kind
Yeah,
of
I
Hoffman
think
Varsho
that's something.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the thing is talks start around Hoffman, then they're including Barshow,
Right.
and so. But
Maybe one
yeah,
of their starters
as
too,
long
like a Bieber or Kevin Gausman or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Honestly, as long as like these are the ones I really want to keep. Farabus, obviously Renteria is there's no way they're trading Renteria unless the guy has like 5 years of control or something.
Right.
Uh, and then Marquez. Anyone else, I don't think is good enough to really make a difference for us right now. So I don't. That's fair game. Like
I'm
Cage would suck, but I do believe he's more reliever long term.
probably, but there's still value in that, right? Like Kirkering is infuriating, but like it's valuable to have like reliever that's cost controlled
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Um, but I do have a little bit of pushback on like the Renteria part. Yes, he looks great right now, but he is not really in like the formal minor league system yet. He's not stateside.
Yeah, I know.
We've seen a
Yeah,
lot of guys in like the DSL tear it up and have it not really translate once they, come to Clearwater, or Jersey Shore or wherever it is that they're going. Um, and like you said, if you're getting somebody that has years of control, like I'd be open to it. Do I think that like other teams would be? It depends on what like the other teams are valuing him at. But let's go back to the Orioles part of it all. Like Gunnar
wait.
Henderson.
But my thing is, we paid 4 million to get this guy. I don't want to just trade him for nothing. If we're gonna trade him, it better be for someone good, not like a Clay Holmes kind of situation.
Oh, I agree. Would you
Yeah.
trade him for like a Gunnar Henderson type?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Because like Gunnar Henderson, I mean, he's been pretty bad this year. Honestly, he
Yeah,
also took
but
a
so many Orioles have well, he could easily be a change of scenery guy. I feel like the Orioles struggles have mainly seemed to be like the exact opposite problem so many teams had. They had too many young prospects, not enough veteran leadership.
yeah. I mean, to be clear, I don't think that Renteria is really even that close to enough for Gunnar Henderson, even though Henderson only has 2 years of control left after this year.
Crazy.
But
Oh
like,
my god.
I know time is flying by. Um, but like, I wouldn't completely shut the door of something like that potential trade happening. If the Phillies are
Yeah,
doing something that gives them a young member of their core, that can be valuable
Gunnar
past.
Hess is 25. He's 25 years old. So
Right.
and he just turned 25. So
Right.
yeah.
I'd much rather do
Yeah,
that
no,
than like the Paredes part, or even like the Nito trade for the Angels, because I think Gunner's ceiling is a lot higher than Nito's. But
oh yeah. Yeah, another thing. Yeah, I'm so yeah, who knows? Well, yeah, get Zach Nito. Uh,
yeah, what do you make of that? There's been a lot of talk about Zach Nito.
yeah, he leads the league in strikeouts. His on base percentage is 324, which is career high. He's only 25 years old. He's great defensively. He's basically uh Dot with more power
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
in
a middle
righty.
infielder.
He's honestly a righty Dot, but with more like offensive upside.
He's a middle infielder that has a career OPS plus in the 110s. I mean, that's cool. The strikeouts would make him feel right at home. Even though he did not strike out as much in 24 and 25 as he is in
Yeah,
26.
he's already struck out. Yeah, he's already struck out as both those years this early. But who knows? I guess the Angels having to be like the best guy on the team and
Right. Yeah, the
I don't
Angels of
know.
it all makes everything hard because, like, if there's ever going to be a time when, like, you're just buying that somebody is getting completely ruined by a franchise, it's the
Yeah,
Angels. So,
like maybe this is maybe we pull off the Trout trade somehow.
no, that's not happening. That's not happening. I mean, if you want somebody from the Angels that's going to cost like absolutely nothing, just get like Jose Siri.
Yeah,
He hits
yeah.
right-handed.
I
He
t-
plays the
yeah,
outfield.
I take it. Yeah, I take him.
Yeah, it's not going to cost you shit. I mean,
No,
maybe like a Siri Travis d'Arnaud trade, to be able to get like a little bit of a better backup catcher.
I don't think Darnell wants. He doesn't have 10. He's only been a couple years. Bring Darnell home to end his career.
Right. Full circle moment.
yeah. So it's, that kind of trade I wouldn't be opposed with. Yeah, that wouldn't cost much, and you get better backup catcher. Yeah,
It's a tough spot right now for the Phillies. I don't envy the front office for having to like go through this decision making process.
no, but just looking at the Angels, isn't just fun? Like how some Yankee prospect that overhyped. It was Wald Peraza was the top 60 prospect.
Crazy. Any like other like big picture thoughts you have about the trade deadline, Jeremy?
No, there's no one, there's no star, there's no got like the Angels didn't trade Otani when they should have, but like no impending free agent Otani. I mean, like Scooble is the closest thing, and I don't want Scooble because we don't need him to fix our problems.
Right. There's no Juan Soto trade that's going to be happening in this trade deadline.
Yeah, there's no offensive. The offensive talent around the league is just ugh, and and just there is no right-handed hitting in the league, especially the outfielders
Right.
anymore in the league.
I don't even know if there's offensive talent at the level of like Hunter Pence when Hunter Pence got traded to the Phillies.
No, there isn't. Oh no, the compare that it would probably be J-Rod.
Julio Rodriguez?
Yeah,
You think Julio Rodriguez is getting traded?
no, but like he's like that's the comparable of
I was
Hunter
talking about
Pence.
getting traded at the trade deadline, like how Hunter
Oh
Pence
yeah,
was
no, yeah,
traded.
oh yeah, no, but like the only right handed I would trade the farm for Julio Rodriguez,
Sure, sure.
but
Yeah,
the
I just
Mariners
like
would never do that.
yeah, nobody at the level of like even Hunter Pence. Like obviously nobody at the level of Juan Soto is getting traded, but not even like a Hunter Pence level right-handed
Yes,
hitting outfielder.
yeah. So
So
it's like the worst deadline to need what we need.
yes, yeah. Which you kind of go back because like this stuff is predictable. You know, like you look at the
Well, even the
teams around the
offseason, there was
league.
no one. There was like what were we going to do in the offseason? There was no one. Like
Sure, fucking Castellanos, man. Castellanos was supposed to be the guy that like stabilized this part of the team. And
yeah.
like maybe you wouldn't have expected all that much in like his age 34 season last year of his contract anyways this year, but like
Well, I mean,
that
better than what he was.
sure. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
even in like the earlier years of the contract, he did not provide what he was paid to do, which is be that right-handed hitting quarter outfielder that the Phillies did need and still need and probably will continue to need in the future.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just looking at Castellanos' page, he's probably one of the most overrated guys in baseball. He never really had that great of years.
I It's kind of weird. I remember like that 21 that he had at
Yeah.
Cincinnati. It was like him and Jesse
Yeah.
Winker.
939. Yeah. Just it was an outlier year for him. A 930, like a 576 slugging. He never really his career with the Tigers is 783 OPS, but it's like his last OPSs were in the 800s.
Yeah,
So
I remember him and Winker being like a terrifying duo that year. And stats, I mean, they were great, right? They both had OPSs, in the 930s to 940s, but like not as impressive as like overall ball players as I really remember them being.
yeah. Ugh. Yeah. You just gotta hope that the league changes the mound and fixes their offense.
Yeah, well, it's a whole nother talk.
Yeah.
We will have to have at some point in the future. So, anything else that you have, Jeremy, about the trade deadline, about the future of the Phillies, about the upcoming series against the Orioles, anything like that?
Yeah. I know. I don't know. After reading that article on Painter, it's on the Athletic to read it. I think it's. I know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm ready to be heard again.
All right, well, we'll take it. One thing I do want to call out is the Phillies are heading into a stretch where they have quite a while without an off day. Their next off day is Friday, August 14th, the day after the Field of Dreams game. So we'll see how this goes. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I hate how many updates are beginning of the year. Like, oh, they're worried about like all the injuries and stuff like that. I'm just like, no, I feel like you're more likely to get more injured later in the year.
Right. Yeah. Um, I just worry about the bullpen more than anything because like this bullpen has been overworked a little bit, especially the top guys in the bullpen, and I just don't love the Phillies playing 14 straight in 14 days right now.
Yeah, but that might fix the Phillies because I feel like every time I get any time off, they suck.
Well, we'll see. We'll see this weekend. Can't believe we're like a day away from August. Like the season has kind of flown by.
I know. I like I want some big trade from any team to happen.
Right. What has happened to the time? But
Oh, here we go. The Rangers just designated Marco Gonzalez. Do you pick him up, try to be a lefty in the bullpen?
I guess it doesn't hurt, right?
Like he could maybe be a fifth starter also.
I don't hate the idea. Didn't cost anything
A
other
couple
than
guys have been
money.
terrible in AAA this year. Ooh. Yeah, he might be cooked. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you have for us today, Terry?
Nope. Go see Spider-Man. That's what I plan to do this weekend. Hopefully.
All right. Well, inside our Spider-Man episode coming up next. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We actually have a couple questions in the podcast channel. We should probably get to those actually.
Yes.
So we saw one thing from well, this is more of like a conversation. Reed AO4 said, "We need Scooble to make a World Series push. I just don't think we have it right now." So I agree. I mean, I agree that we
Uh,
don't have it. I don't agree that we need Scooble.
yeah. Then Paid says we need a lot more to Scuba, but yes, on the pitcher would help. I disagree. I think you could get so much more to help the team than it would cost to with the stuff that would cost to get Scooble.
Right. Right. Even if the Phillies had Scooble, if you just like got Scooble for free, um, they're still probably not going to win the division. They're still probably not going
No.
to host a wild card series.
But I'm saying like the package you could get Scooble, you could use to get Isaac Paredes, which I think would be better benefit to the team.
I guess it would be nice to have like a competent third baseman. That's for sure. All right. Well, what are predictions? Orioles series are they going to win 2 out of 3? What are they going to do?
Sweeping, sweeping.
The
We're
Phillies are
sweeping.
sleeping.
We're sweeping.
Let's see. I'm not that optimistic. I'm gonna just choose to be optimistic nonetheless. They're gonna win 2 out of 3, but they're not gonna win the Painter start tonight. But that's just me. Cool. With that being said, thank you, Jeremy, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Probably after this series on Sunday, and then we'll probably record again on Monday after the trade deadline.
Bye, prospects.